Hey guys, Dr. Bodle here. Now sometimes when we're working on our nutrition for Hashimoto's, we can think we're making the absolute best choices, but then we'll read something on the internet or watch a video and it'll tell us, nope, you're doing it completely wrong or you didn't go far enough. Usually this is super discouraging and most of us want to throw in the towel at that point thinking, if the science is going to change tomorrow, why should I put in all the effort? That's why in today's video, I wanted to go over some key areas of your diet that you shouldn't be stressing about. That way you can have more peace of mind and still get some really great outcomes. So if this topic sounds like a good one and you want to continue to learn about natural ways that you can support your Hashimoto's and your hypothyroid symptoms, remember to like, subscribe, and click on the bell for videos every Thursday. So it wouldn't be a Dr. Brad video if we didn't talk a little bit about protein. And the first thing that you shouldn't be stressing about when it comes to your nutrition is the difference between grass-fed and grass-finished beef and conventionally raised beef. I love to make sure that people with thyroid problems are getting enough protein. But I often get asked, if we're going to increase our protein and our beef intake, do we need to be eating the absolute best grass-fed and grass-finished beef? And my answer to that is no. Now I know that might come as a bit of a shock to you, and it's true. When we look at the research, the grass-fed and grass-finished beef has a lot of things going for it. It has a more preferable saturated fatty acid composition. It has a higher ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s. There's higher levels of vitamin A and vitamin E, and there's also increased amounts of antioxidants such as glutathione and superoxide dismutase. However, conventionally raised beef still includes all of those nutrients, and the degree to which the two are different varies depending on the research we're looking at. Now, should we always strive to do the best we can when it comes to our nutrition? Totally. And oftentimes, there are other additional benefits that come along with supporting and purchasing grass-fed and grass-finished beef. And that can include things like supporting local farmers, promoting regenerative and sustainable practices, and encouraging the raising of livestock that is done in a humane and healthy way. So I'm not trying to discourage you from doing any of those things. But if we ignore some of those external benefits and focus solely on our nutrition and what it means for our health, I think the difference between the grass-fed and grass-finished beef and the conventionally raised beef are more slight than we are led to believe. And when we think that, only the higher quality product will allow us to heal and feel better, I think it holds a lot of people back. So when you're choosing beef, consider all the factors and pick the one that makes the most sense for you. And don't be scared off by some Instagram posts that suggest there's only one type of beef that is going to help you be healthy. In the end, any kind of protein is going to be a better option for you than some sort of processed junk. Next on our list of things that are stressing you out and shouldn't be, it's fresh vegetables versus frozen vegetables. Just like with the grass-fed and grass-finished beef, most of us are taught that if we want to get the most nutrients out of our vegetables, we need to choose fresh ones. And once again, we have a little bit of a similar story here. Fresh vegetables are great, and they should be part of your diet. But when we look at the research comparing fresh to frozen, although there are some areas where fresh clearly wins, when we look at the research, the term that is most often used is that one is comparable to the other rather than deficient. So if you want to include frozen vegetables, I think it's an awesome choice. They're convenient, they're oftentimes pre-cut for you, it's easy for you to grab some and add them to any dish, and very quickly bump up your meal variety and add some extra fiber and nutrients. So moving forward, you'll probably use both. But just don't feel badly when frozen vegetables are the choice. You won't be missing out on much, they're going to provide you a ton of nutrition, and using frozen vegetables is a much better option than spinach that is turning into a brown liquid goo at the bottom of one of your refrigerator drawers. And the last thing that we need to stop stressing about is the amount of sugar that's found in fruit. Now, to some degree, sugar is sugar. But if we surround it with different supportive compounds, like fiber, then the impact that sugar has on our body is going to be much different. The speed and significance with which dietary sugar affects our blood sugar will be much less dramatic when we consume it in its whole food form, like we do in fruit. And in general, for most people with Hashimoto's and thyroid problems, getting some sugar in our diet from fruit isn't going to be an issue for us. Now, of course, changes in our thyroid function and changes in our metabolism does change the way that our body processes sugar. But more of the issue is going to be with processed sugars and processed carbohydrates. Now, with that said, I do want to throw in a few caveats here. If your thyroid condition has led to the development of other blood sugar processing disorders, things like insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, and PCOS, then it is possible that you might need to be a little bit more cautious around fruit. Also, keep in mind that if you are juicing or if you're making smoothies, the blending of fruit can cause the concentration of sugar and allow you to consume much more quickly. And if we're juicing, a lot of that fiber is also going to be removed. But as long as we're aware of those things, remember that in general, fruit can be fine. But if you're still stressing about it, pay attention to how you're feeling. Typically, if we have blood sugar problems that are interfering with our Hashimoto's healing, we will notice changes in symptoms and energy around our meal times. Often, this manifests as fatigue and irritability before meals that is resolved with eating, or as an increase in fatigue after we eat. My golden rule, or one of my many golden rules, is that meals should only take us from being hungry to not being hungry. We shouldn't notice any other change in symptoms or how we feel. If your meal times can be very neutral for you, then you know you've got it. But at the end of the day, understand that although nutrition does sometimes need to be nuanced, and there can be complex issues that come along with thyroid problems that require a more specific approach. However, in general, that's usually not the case and definitely isn't where you should be starting from. And if someone is making things super nuanced and granular, usually they're trying to sell you something or they're trying to make you feel like you can't do it on your own. Whenever you can, choose minimally processed whole foods that make you feel great. And if the feedback you're getting from your body is positive, then don't worry about those little details because we all know you don't need that added stress. But I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I've had some patients that swear by grass-fed, grass-finished beef and they won't do anything else. And I've also had patients that I've helped get better who are getting beef from fast food restaurants. So you're probably somewhere in between, but I'd love to hear what's been working for you. Also, if you have any questions, you can also drop them for me in the comments below. If you like the video but are saying to yourself, I think I need more of that nuanced approach, and you want to work with me one-on-one, either in person or virtually, then we can always start that process by setting you up for a free consultation, and all you have to do is email my staff at contact@seattlethyroidhelp.com and they'll be able to help you out from there. The consultation is absolutely no pressure. It just allows us to sit down, talk about what's going on with your health, determine if this is something I can help you with, and then start setting goals and a clear-cut plan for you to achieve that. No matter where you're at in your journey, I'd love to chat with you and provide you support in any way I can. If you'd rather make some changes on your own, make sure to grab either one of my free downloads listed in the description box, one of which is the food list that I use for many of my patients with Hashimoto's, and the other is the electrolyte recommendations that I provide for people on low carb and ketogenic diets. But that's it for today. Much love to everyone. Thank you for the continued support. I hope that you keep making positive changes and improvements in your health. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more, follow me on social media. Links for Facebook and Instagram are down below. But my name is Dr. Bodle. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.